Welcome to all of you out there, astrology lovers. This is your yearly horoscope for the sign of Aries for 2023. So if you have your sun in Aries or your ascendant or your moon in Aries, this is for you. Now, as every year, I'm doing this starting with the outer planets, what they are doing, as from Pluto up until Jupiter. And then I'm going to have a look if there are retrogrades that are significant. So let's get started with the planet that is in a year very important for all of us, which is Pluto. And Pluto is squaring up to Aries. Still it has been doing that for a long time, basically. And most of you Aries people already had that Pluto square Sun or Pluto square ascendant energy. But for those of you, so you will still feel it. But for those of you who have a birthday at the very end of April, the ones who have a birthday on the 18th of April and onwards, they will feel it the most that Pluto is about to square their sun sign. Now, it is in your 10th house. For a lot of you Aries people, this is, and by the way, this is not something new. This has been going on for years and years. There's a transformation that happens for you that has to do with your work and your career. It has to do with your authenticity. So through your work, the struggles, and especially the power struggles and the things that we try to control and don't want to lose and hold on to, these things we learn when Pluto is in our 10th house, and we learn how to take our power back, whatever that means for you. So that's still going on. And another thing that is quite significant with that is that the nodes are going to shift into your sign, dear Aries people. And that is so amazing because we are going to have, it's around July time, that the North Node is going to shift into Aries. So we will have, and especially you, will be asked to be more boiled, to be more you, to be more authentic, to be more honest, to be more real, and to be a little bit more selfish in a certain way. But for you, it's on a way of your life path, going on a journey, you could say, of your life path, your direction in life. So that's a good thing. And stepping away a little bit from other people, what they think of you. And you could say, hey, but Aries people, they are already very selfish and so on. Don't forget that we are not just Aries, right? Like I have my moon in Aries, but I've got a sun in Virgo. So that is totally different energy. So we are not just one particular thing. So also for you, dear Aries people, who have been struggling with giving too much power away to another person when it comes to I want their validation and so on. This is good news because this is all about you, and having the North Node in your sign, it's the best thing of the year. It really is. And of course it goes backwards. So the ones that are feeling Pluto the most are also going to feel that North Node the most. So there is because the nodes are going to as well bump into Pluto and square up to it. So that means fated transformations and things that are really, you could say, very karmic. I don't use that word so often because then people say, okay, I don't have to do anything. But it's not in that way. It has to do with cycles. And also for you, there are cycles finishing up when it comes, and in particular, when it belongs to, when it has to do with your career. So there are big turning points for career. Some of you will end a career and will start something new, but it's really transformational. So it's not like you stopping and doing something else. You are a salesman and you go to another company being a salesman. No, it's like the salesman turns into a nurse, so to speak, or in something totally different. Of course, not this example, but into something totally different. I could go on and on and on about this Pluto, but this is a very powerful one and most important one for you. Like Neptune is still in your 12th house. It's been going on for years and years, but that doesn't have such an important meaning for you or interpretation for you. But yes, Neptune still in the 12th means that there is still possibility to have some more time when it comes to relaxing, when it comes to reloading the battery, when it comes to your spirituality. All these things are very favored, or doing something artistic, you could say, behind the scenes. That is a very lovely energy to have. And Uranus in your second house, it's also the same as last year. It's not really doing something with Aries energy, but what it does mean, Uranus in your second house, is there could be shakeups, like something like this, very high in self-esteem, and then the day after very low in self-esteem. It's a bit like, you know, those a bit bipolar in a way when it comes to your self-worth. But it's not a negative thing at all. It's just about surprises when it comes to your self-worth. Also in money, it could mean that 1 month you earn more, and especially when you have your own business, 1 month it's high and another month it's low, and there is not much consistency there. But the good news is, and I really like that for you Aries people, Venus is going retrograde in fellow fire sign Leo, and that's gonna be in your 5th house, and it's like the whole month. It's gonna happen in July, throughout September, but in July, like the whole month, Venus is gonna square that Uranus that I was talking about. So this is a lot about shifts in you could say energy boosts. It could be a romance for sure. Are you viewing romance and enjoyment in a totally different way? And that could be, of course, because you get into a relationship, or a relationship that was already there is changing, and you change your point of view when it comes to having fun, basically. But having Venus there for such a long time, you know, Venus is normally like a couple of weeks there, and now it's going to be there from July to September. I think that's a very, very positive thing for you. And Pluto, that Pluto I was talking about, is shifting into Aquarius in March already, up until June. So a very short period of time. It's going to be in your 11th house. It's not that important because it's just the beginning, and you're going to feel that more next year, the year in 2024. But what it does mean is that there was also some transformations going on when it comes to your friendships and your goals for the future. So some of that will also undergo big shifts. Now, Saturn is still in your 11th house up until like the beginning of May, and then it goes into your 12th house. So Saturn in the 11th house indeed can indicate already some stagnation when it comes to friendships, or less is more. That's definitely true. Or a little bit more isolated on, you could say, on in a social way, but and also when it comes to exploring your goals and wishes for the future. Also, when you have your own business, Saturn in the 11th is not really wow, because it's about your income that you get out of your business. It's the 2nd house of the 10th house. So, but after May, that restriction energy, that learning school energy, is going into your 12th house, which means more to clean up some old baggage, you could say. It's working behind the scenes. It's like doing the closet, you know, putting out what's not good anymore for you, what's not serving you, so that you have space. That's Saturn in the 12th house. It's quite a good position there. Saturn is what we call in astrology in its joy. I really love that expression. But it means that it can make really good efforts there to discipline the unconscious and some, as I said, some addictions, whether they are big or small, that you can tackle there as well. And Jupiter, of course, enjoy it, still being in your sign up until May. So for a lot of you people out there, having Jupiter in Aries, you know, all Aries people, because in January it starts at 1 degree in Aries, so it's going through the whole sign of Aries. So enjoy that, which means more optimism, more possibilities. If it's your sun sign, it could have to do with your career expansion. If it's your moon sign, it's feeling good. I love it, by the way. It's my favorite. One of my favorite transits, Jupiter on the moon, because you feel nurtured no matter what. You feel content, you feel good in your own skin. And on your ascendant, it means an overall feeling of yes, I'm expanding, I'm growing, and I'm just more optimistic, and I feel more that I have purpose in just being me, which is amazing. So, and then it goes into your second house in May in Taurus, which is good for what I was talking about, the confidence and the money as well. So you could be having a promotion there. You could be just feeling more confident in general. So that's pretty good as well. And Mars in the beginning of January goes direct around the midst of January in your third house. So when it comes to your communication, your PR, if you have your own business, your short trips, your activities that you do with people in the neighborhood, with siblings, and so on, these things should go better than in 2022, because now things go forwards and you can be quite active with that. Now, other than that, this year is not filled with outer planets clashing with each other, you know, the Saturn-Uranus square, or like in 2012, for instance, Aries people had quite a rough time with Pluto squaring up to Uranus. That's not the case now for 2023. No big things that are happening that are mind-blowing and difficult and challenging. So it's a pretty, for Aries overall, it's a pretty good year. You know, some of you, as I said, with that Pluto and the North Node there could be some you know, some challenges. Definitely when you hold on to something too strong, then it can become a challenge. But all in all, it's a pretty good year for you. Make the best out of it, you dear Aries people, with all your courage and energy. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.